Okay, second attempt. Apparently I need the power on my USB adapter to get this camera to move or to work. It actually did work for a little bit, and then suddenly it just cut itself off. Anyway, I've made pretty good progress. Let me show you what it looks like. There we go. That's most of, well, you can't see it. That's most of the panel. I'm missing an arm. I'm missing some, internal hatching there. It's looking okay, though. All right. Let's continue this. This is actually coming out as a pretty good image right here. I'm going to be posting this whole comic will be posted at Instagram, but also on Twitter, or X, as it is now called. And it will be also printed in 9-Volt Arcana, which will be coming out, and Weird Arcana will be coming out in, we hope, November, December timeframe of this year. And which would be cool because that would mean we're back on the 3 issues a year track instead of the 2 issues that we managed last year. But even if we just do 2 issues, I'll feel pretty accomplished. A lot of people just don't even get 1 issue out, so I think that's probably a pretty good example. Oh, shoot. I'm doing a 1960s style checkerboard computer console. I've talked about these before. Anytime you see a computer in the 1960s, there's a mysterious checkerboard screen. Nobody knows what it does. It just looks like it does something complicated. It's like Batman's crime computer, Cerebro, you know. Almost looks like a crossword puzzle or something. The original Star Trek had one of these. Space Ghost's computer aboard the Phantom 1, I believe is what the ship was called, had one. It's just got some blinking lights. All right. So I don't like this one. I'm going to move this line a little bit more. There we go. All right, let's take a look. Hey! Does that look pretty clean? That looks like a Silver Age panel, if I've ever seen one. And I've seen a few. We're just going to kayfabing in some, faking in some stuff here. There we go. Now that looks like a computer panel. Then we're going to do an interesting thing here. I'm going to imply this. See this little line I just put in here? It implies that there's an even more angled panel up this way. Even though we haven't drawn any angles, it's going to, like our eye is going to see it and tell us, oh yeah, there must be another perspective going that way, you know. And you won't question it for the most part. Especially if we do this, we're going to go like a thick line on this side. Looking good. We can do the same thing here. Let's do an even thicker line. How about that? Because the real secret here is none of these lines really matter when you're just designing the greeblies that imply that there's equipment here. You know, what the equipment does or doesn't do isn't super important. I mean, I suppose it's a little important. The infamous example is, of course, Bernie Wrightson's Frankenstein's lab, which has this immense sort of alchemical laboratory drawn out. And it's so complex that there's no way you could even determine what's going on there. Let's make this one another view screen. I like this, but I don't like this line right here. You know what? It doesn't look. It looks too organic to be, you know, mechanical or machinery related. So we're going to go ahead and strike it back out and redo it. So we know what we could do with my eraser. Let's put a cable that goes into the floor. Oops. Okay. Now, hopefully I had some good guiding pencils. Maybe not great ones. Oh, these are okay. All right, let's do this one. You can tell I'm going a little thick on that line because this one's supposed to be thin. This panel is in perspective in front of the other part of the dashboard. And that one's supposed to be a thin panel or a medium line. There we go. Okay, how's it looking? 10 minutes in? 10 minutes in, I think it's looking pretty good. I just have this area right up here, which I think that we can probably finish today. Let's cross your fingers. Always cross your fingers. Alright, I did a draw through, and now I'm regretting it. No. Okay. Part I'm regretting is drawing through his little energy field right here. And then this line actually bends. How about this? Should we show... Like this line, you notice it isn't in the pencils, but I'm going to show it as part of the perspective of this panel. So it's like a hanging monitor or something. Which means I got to draw more details. One of the things I have not yet decided yet is I've got to figure out somehow to draw space. My normal way of drawing space that I've used in previous comics, I don't think I want to use again. Which is like to use this sort of watercolor backdrop with stars. And it doesn't really fit the rest of the drawing. People like it. People always comment and go, oh, this is wonderful. How do you do the space section here? But I've been looking at it and thinking, you know what, it really doesn't fit. So I might just not do that this time. Other options include just blacking it out. That always works. But it is a pretty it's a pretty basic way to handle the problem. Maybe I shouldn't do that, right? Or should I? Or should I? This line that I'm doing now was originally part of that other panel. But I think it works okay as a like kind of a little overhang area for the ship. I don't like the angle there. I guess you got to be careful because like I said, we're kind of cheating the rules of perspective here. There's my Eclipse screen. Looks good, except gotta have that. It's like a locker vent. Oscilloscopes and Van de Graaff generators were often used in sort of 60s and 50s sci-fi. Because even if they weren't really particularly scientifically relevant, they look cool. You know? It's like, hey, let's stick that Plasma generator. You ever seen one of those plasma globes? I remember when this first came out. My friend Rick, who was a huge stoner, he's like, I gotta get one. I just have to have it. Sure enough. And you got one. All right. I'm not sure about this line yet. I'm looking at it. Is it okay? Is it okay? Maybe? I'm not sure that worked. Okay. All right. We're close. I think that's all looking okay. I think the rest of this cockpit area we can do with maybe this will be like a window. So you can see out and we can see space outside. Kind of know where we are. Or maybe this will be a window up here too. Or a view screen of some kind. So if this is a window, maybe we see a little bit of the outside right here. All right. Moment of truth. Dig deep. We're going to go for the space. We're going to try and render some space inside this window as if we're looking outside. In fact, actually, this is going to be a window too. So let's take the pencils out. Let's say that this is the, for the most part, completed page, right? And then we want to do this sort of a black with stars area. So first of all, let's look for any obvious flaws. No. There's one right there, right? And there's one right there, because we're going to have to drag and drop. Seems to have worked. All right, how about this over here? Same deal. Do we get the sense he's in a spaceship now? I think we kind of do. Although now I don't like this little white area down here. So let's throw some more stuff on it. Some cabling coming out of here. You get the feeling I'm avoiding doing this space section. All right. Well, I mean, we already blacked it out. I think how bad could it be? Let's well, let's choose a white rather than erase our way into the stars. So we're going to use the same like I did over here, and I'm kind of regretting. Instead of using the eraser, which is flawless, let's use our rusty nib and get that noise back, right? We got to get that noise. Bring the noise. See how it brings those nice flawed edges in? Looks like a nice... All right, here we go. And we're looking at it in such a way that we don't want to believe that that is the same as this. We want this to read as tiles somehow. I think it does. Then out here. And then some of the stars we're going to make big. Oops. Tried to make him too big. Some of them make small. So there's some that are big and some that are small. And then one of the things I like to do is I like to put texture in space, which is like a almost like a little wind or just a little swirl of light. If you ever played EVE Online, you know what I'm talking about. There's more than just emptiness. And then some of the stars are faint. Some of them are bright white. And we're always trying to make sure that we vary our line widths and our textures. You know, these didn't read that well. I'm looking at them right now. So let's fix those. Okay. We can't afford to second guess ourselves too much. Well, let's make this seat look nice and soft. It's a comfortable seat. This is the other type of 60s computer. Blinking lights. Here we go. All right. This is about printing height or printing distance, printing size. This is our zoom. This is probably about the drawing size then as we zoom out. Now, all that said, probably plenty of shading and shadowing that we could get in there. Well, I don't want to over detail it. It's looking okay. What do you think? Standard sci-fi panel texturing. That's all looking okay. All right, let's call this a day. We're done. What is it, 26 minutes? All right. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more Prometheus Powers. This one's going to the moon.